Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to day 146 of the Hunt-A-Day. Today on Grayson should be doing these hunts when he is more awake and not just after waking up in the morning. Primordial Malzeno knocks me around like a rag doll for approximately 20 minutes. I do not do well in this hunt, I'll be honest with y'all, but I have a great time. It is such a cool fight, and I am forever amazed that this is how they decided to end Sunbreak. I think Primordial Malzeno and Amatsu came in the same title update, I think, and they were the final title update. They were the last two, and they were both the perfect way to end Monster Hunter Rise. And I think Primordial Malzeno, especially is the perfect send-off to this series. So this is the last video I'm going to be recording in Monster Hunter Rise. Well, the last video in the Hunt-A-Day that I'm going to be recording in Monster Hunter Rise. I have, for my February video before Wild's releases, I'm going to be doing a bigger, more comprehensive, kind of better articulated, less rambly send-off to Monster Hunter Rise. I'm hoping to get that up by Friday, so by, this coming Friday, so that it's up before, next week when Wilds drops. Because, next week, Wilds, we are less than 2 weeks away. It is almost here. Soon my long exile from, all the other Monster Hunter content creators that I unfollowed when I started this challenge will be done. But today I want to gush about Primordial Malzeno because it is such an awesome fight. The pure storytelling in the quest itself is something that is amazing. And I never realized, because I played Rise well before I played Frontier. I only ever really played Monster Hunter Frontier for this Hunt-A-Day challenge. I played it, around the holiday season last year. And you can really see the Frontier inspiration in a lot of, Monster Hunter Rise's fights. Primordial Malzeno, I realized today especially. I had not fought it since I did my videos in Frontier. And the escalation and the way that the fight progresses and the way the phases shift is very similar to how Frontier structured some of its fights. Especially, there's a monster that in the community is pretty much just known as Black Rathian, but it's called Unknown. And it has 9 distinct rage states that it progresses throughout the fight that just get progressively crazier and faster and more aggressive. And it does not de-rage. The fight starts off normal and it's pretty much just a Rathian. Then you get to, its first rage state and it gets a little bit faster, has a couple new moves. Then another rage state happens, then another, and the fight keeps building on itself, adding more and more into the moveset and into the hazards to avoid, and it becomes a just cacophony of nonsense in the most fun way. Or for a more, standard monster, something like Tycoon Zamuza, where it will have, 3 distinct phases in the fight, each with its own moveset, and each which adds a little bit more to the mix. And Primordial Malzeno, it's hard to say. Primordial Malzeno does a great job of, taking that kind of more MMO-centric formula and translating it to a Monster Hunter, mainline fight, as well as just, adding in a lot of, really good storytelling. So, Primordial Malzeno is Malzeno. It is the actual Elder Dragon itself, whereas the Malzeno that we fought earlier in the game, in Rise, is technically a variant, because it's the one that has been, corrupted by the Curio, the vampire powers, the vampire, bloodlust kind of deal. And regular, in air quotes, Malzeno, the first Malzeno you fight, is emaciated and more slender, but it uses a lot more dark magic with the Curio and has all of that built into its moveset a lot more prominently, whereas its physical moves take a little bit of a backseat. Primordial Malzeno, when you first see it, it is thicker, it is beefier, it's more it looks healthier, and it begins the fight. The first phase of Primordial Malzeno is it just bashing your shit in with its wings, with its tail. It uses every physical attack at its disposal, and it is purely a prime physical attacker. It refuses to use like any power from the Curio. It will like cut them down when it comes near them, and it will constantly be like fighting them off while you're fighting it. And then when like the Curio get in and start to bond and like corrupt the Malzeno, it starts to incorporate more of like base Malzeno's moveset into it. It will have the red like Curio blood magic beams. It will do more of those explosions. It will send them down from the heavens. And as the fight progresses, like the Curio will give it that like dark magic, but it will also get like more aggressive and angry and faster as it's like trying to both fight you off and fight off the Curio that are corrupting it. And of course, with each stage that it progresses in the like Curio corruption, it gets faster, more aggressive, incorporates more of Malzeno's moves into its own moveset. It will like chain teleports in order to like get behind you and reposition and like throw you off guard. There's so many times in this hunt where I will like not be able to move the camera fast enough to find where Primordial is, and he'll like punish me for it. It is such a great fight, but the thing I like really appreciate about it, I as a D&D player, and like a general like fantasy fan, like paladins and like the fallen Oathbreaker paladins especially, are very fun characters for me. I really enjoy them. I like the natural drama of it, and Primordial Malzeno gives me big, like, fallen paladin energy. When you first meet him, when you first see him, he is this regal, shining knight of a dragon that is slowly corrupted by dark magic and, like, has to give in to that power in order to survive, which, the final stage of this fight, where he fully gives into the Curio and is just this demon that is coming at you with everything it has. And like the fight itself at the end, like towards the end of the hunt, when when Primordial Malzeno is close to death, he will just absolutely blitz you down. It is a relentless assault. There is no room for openings. There is no like good time to get in an attack. You just have to survive. And your reward for surviving is that like all of that exertion, all of that like use of his energy will like have a negative effect on Primordial, and he'll like have to stand there for a little bit and like catch his breath. Like he can't contain all of this power. It's like slowly killing him and whittling him away. And that's your moment to strike. That's your moment to take him down. In the story version of this quest, it really does feel, and like there's this whole thing with Fiorane and her being like vengeance and how dare you like hurt me and blah 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 blah. And then at the end of the hunt, it's like, oh, this is a sick creature. We need to put this thing down for its own good. And I really like that angle of this quest. It's very similar to, I didn't talk about him in the hunt today. I wish I did, but I don't really have time to anymore with all the other monsters I have planned. I wish I talked about Chaotic Gore Magala, because it feels very similar, where it's like, this is a monster in pain. We are hunting it to put it out of its misery. And it just reminds me, like, monster hunters in the Monster Hunter universe are effectively game wardens. We're the DNR. We are like there to manage like animal populations and make sure that not only are humans safe, but that the animals in their habitats are safe as well. And I love that angle of Monster Hunter, and I want to see, like, I was thinking about it. My perfect game of Monster Hunter would have less to do with like the research, like the scientific expedition side of the Hunters Guild, and more on like the game preservation. You are a park ranger with a gun, like side of the guild. I think that would be a really cool story to tell. I love Primordial so much. It is one of my favorite monsters, and it's really hard to be like, I don't think, because Primordial Malzeno is designed to be a final end game test of everything you have learned throughout Monster Hunter Rise, the base game, and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And the hard part is, because it is like meant to be that huge challenge, if they were to bring it back, they would have to bring it back in that same capacity. and I don't know if it would have the same effect. Again, like I've talked about like Gore Magala and Shigaru Magala, and how I don't necessarily feel like they should come back very often, because I think they work the best when they are tied to story elements. I would not be happy if I saw Malzeno or Primordial Malzeno in Rise for a similar, or in Wilds for a similar reason, because I think both those monsters need the story payoff in order to feel like the real threats they are and the real like powerhouses of a story that they are. And in a game like Wilds, from what I've seen, because again, I have not seen much of Monster Hunter Wilds. I have seen up until the release date trailer in September, and then I went spoiler free, mostly spoiler free. I got spoiled on a couple things. But what I have seen, I don't think Monster Hunter Wilds is the type of game where they're going to throw monsters in that have like very heavy story connotations to them without giving that story weight. They seem to really want to, like, at least again from what I have seen, they seem to really want to emphasize the story and like the put more of an effort into that. Whereas in a game like Rise, where at its core it's more arcadey, more like less story focused but more spectacle focused, they can get away with including stuff like Gore and Shigaru and like the Malzenos without much attention to the story details. You can just kind of throw them in and people are going to be like, yeah, cool dragon. But in Wilds, I don't know if we're going to see them. So I don't think we're going to see Malzeno or Primordial Malzeno again, unfortunately. I would say maybe like, I'm going to say like 0 to 1 out of 10 to show up in Monster Hunter Wilds. But I think Primordial made such an impression on the community. I can't think of anyone I have seen who does not like, at least like, the Primordial Hunt. Whether it be for its difficulty, for the storytelling, or just the generally really cool mechanics. So I think like a solid 8 or 9 out of 10 to show up in Monster Hunter in the future. Only not a 10 out of 10 because like it's a weird situation where it is the base form of the monster, but it is technically the end game variant version. It's kind of like Kezu, where Red Kezu is technically the like natural original form, and like baseline Kezu is the variant. It's weird. Oh, I didn't even talk about how it uses its wings and its tail and its attacks. So, base form Malzeno, to me, uses its tail like a spear, kind of like very Vlad the Impaler Dracula style, whereas Primordial Malzeno uses its wings as a like sword and shield. It will like shield bash you with its wings and slice at you with the other one at the same time. It is a really cool design choice, and again, ties into that like Fallen Paladin to Dark Knight kind of story that Primordial and Malzeno have. And I think that's great. From how much I've talked, you can tell I really like this monster. I think it is one of my favorite fights in Monster Hunter Rise. It is one of my favorite fights in the series. It's just such a good time all around. But that is where I have to wrap up the ramble for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stick around until the end of the hunt if you can. It is a very fun one, even though I do get bodied quite a bit. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time... Oh, I did not give my disclaimer. I don't want to know if I am right about anything I talked about during when I was talking about Wilds. This is all speculation. I have remained spoiler-free on purpose and would like to do so for the final 10 days up until Wilds releases. So please do not spoil anything in the comments. If like they have announced like, yes, we're bringing Primordial back for every single game, I don't want to hear it until I see it in my hands and can be mildly disappointed in like a story sense, but also incredibly excited in a I love this fight sense. But like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.
I shall focus on recovering. Good as new. All right, time to get back to the fray.
Something about Bunny Dongo lifts my spirits. Hey, what's the matter?
Wait until the fight starts. Just super irritated. This set his sights on you.
I cannot fulfill my duty like this.
You're gonna be fine. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Wow, you were great! I can see the village is in safe hands. Just taking a break, hmm? You can add this to your growing list of accomplishments.